podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
It was a very fun Saturday. Welcome into Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Clint Scott, Dr. Mike Gustafson, Brennan Riker behind the glass taking care of us. We will go up to 6 o'clock today. At that time, it is the Cowboys hour. After that, Monday Night Football, Lions at Ravens, and 6 o'clock, 100.7 The Score. It is the High School Fan Zone. We are live from the First United Bank studio, and you can join us today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Thoughts, comments, questions, whatever you got, go there and give us those. You can also call us on the Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. If you would like to take us with you, again, you can do that with the mobile app, brought to you by our friends at Happy State Bank. If you would like to watch us, Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, Facebook, all of that is open for you. And if you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, follow us, Double T 97.3. Gus, happy Victory Monday to you.
Yes, sir. I liked it. Yes, sir. It's good stuff. Happy Monday to you.
Did you party down afterwards? This was the beauty about the 11 a.m. kick, is what you're done about 3 o'clock-ish, and then, I mean, had a solid, depending on what you were doing, 7 to maybe 14 hours of opportunity to really live it up.
Drank all the beers? No. It was pretty tame with the post-game celebration there. Was fired up for it, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. We went and got a little bite to eat and had a couple of beers with dinner, but that was it. Yeah, I like it.
Certainly.
It was like a good weekend. I mean, when you think about Red Raider sports.
Oh yeah,
headed into that salty soccer game on Friday night. They go down there and win
a tight
opponent.
One. Yeah.
Yes, and then
just out toughing top 25 teams this weekend.
Yeah. Both of them 1-0 and both of them 1-0 in conference, and then obviously the football game, and yeah, that was good, man.
Mm-hmm. This from Lindell Jeff. The theme today is songs written while watching the fog rise from Lake Geneva, Switzerland. My prediction of 34-17 was surprisingly and pleasantly wrong. Yeah, mine too. I had this as a 31-24 game, I believe was my final score. And 24 was about as high as I was going to give Utah. But man, you just went in there, Gus, and let's start with the defense. So much to break down from this game. Again, give us your thoughts, just like Lindell Jeff did on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. But when you start the game with a 3-and-out, and then you pick up a massive third down with your first offensive possession, right? And Jacoby Williams has the wild play, sets you up, and you still have to make a couple other plays, by the way, just to push that into, I believe you scored on first and goal, but you had to pick up a first down there too. And then you go in, you score, and about as good of a start as you could ask for defensively, and about as good of a start as you could ask for offensively in that environment. And then you followed up with another good defensive stop, I'll be honest, for just a moment. And it winds up this way, right? Blowing teams out in the fourth quarter still counts as a blowout.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought you were on your way to just have a big momentum roll type game. I don't know about you. I'm not walking away from this game just thinking like Utah's absolute garbage or anything like that. No. And I think that if you're doing that, you're also taking credit away from what you just did at Rice Eccles, where you went and in the end you flexed on a team in their home environment and had their fans in what was a very good environment leaving early, which was just so satisfying to see. But I was stressed for the majority of this game, and in the end, it was a blast.
Yeah, that really convincing. Brendan's got a new drop he's going to use.
Well, we play defense at Texas Tech.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
And maybe the better thing to do would be go all the way back and go back to to his hiring press conference. So we're going to play defense at Texas Tech. I can't remember if he said Texas Tech or in Lubbock, Texas. I can't remember, but all of that's sort of not really combating, but trying to buy into the identity of just being offense first, and in some cases offense only.
You've asked for this a couple of times, specifically where you had said, I'm excited about the offense, but I'm more interested to see is this defense. We think it is, but will it be good enough to go win that grinded out type of game? Now, don't get me wrong. Your offense left plenty of opportunity on the field. 9 false starts, however many it ended up being, and pre-snap penalties will do that to you. But to answer your question, if you could defensively out-tough a team whenever you needed it for an offense that was trying to figure things out, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Yep. It was fantastic. I mean, there's plenty of things to clean up, and I thought it was pretty interesting as the game was, I guess, unfolding. I mean, at the halftime interview with Level, albeit a very staticky situation, but Chris Level doing the traditional
the elevation.
Yeah, whatever. The static, whatever. I mean, it was just in and out. It was. We used to deal with that when I was doing on-field baseball interviews. I finally just started getting a phone call from Jefferson City. But, he talked about it. It was his fault. It's my fault. All the illegal procedures, all the pre-snap stuff. Now, that might have been his way. Maybe he's taking the heat off his offense coordinator or whatever. But whatever clap thing they were using or whatever is not going to work in a noisy environment like that. And you know what? Maybe it's good that we figured that out in Game 4 with 4 more salty road games ahead, right? Mm-hmm. It's always going to be tough to deal with noise, but it shouldn't be 8 penalties, But good that that's going to be something that they can work on and be correctable in open week.
The podcast that finishes your workday in a very Red Raider way. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
That was Mr. Pogge, correct? Coach Pogge with a. What about Nebraska's ranked team streak there that extends in a very close loss to Michigan? But Biff Pogge, 2-0 as the Wolverines head coach, and I believe he's done. I believe that was just the 2 games, right?
Yeah, his interim.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a big win there.
Yeah.
I mean, just one of your interim games. Those aren't both 2 Central Michigan home games. One of those is going to be
against a Nebraska team who is trying to make the next step. I think they've clearly made some under Matt Rule, but they're still trying to, get back into the upper echelon of college football and start with just trying to get into the upper echelon of their own conference. But I'm with you. That and on the road, that wasn't a gimme by any means. So, a pretty nice job. An even better soundbite. I like how he says cigars. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know why he was going to the hospital there, but maybe he was just tearing it up. Is that it? Or just eating too much? Well, I didn't know exactly where he was going with that, but I liked it regardless.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can hit us up as well. Resident Aggie had this. My wife saw some posts from Utah fans complaining that Tech ran up the score for the pollsters. All right.
Beautiful.
This on the chat line, getting right into it. I understand Joey is going to stick with Behren for now, but if we lose a stupid game because he refused to put in Billy Hammond, I like that, I will be furious. Yeah, I think Coach McGuire really, I can't remember if it was in his actual post-game press conference or if it was in his on the way out interview, I thought he was very careful with his words because he said what I like about Will Hammond is that he knows his role and stepped in, and also knows that like Behren is the standard for excellence, and he is the backup quarterback. That being said, came in and played lights out, and nobody over there, is thinking that he's not the future of the program. He is, but I think he was also telling you, I think he was trying to shut down any sort of quarterback controversy that could be thrown out. And I get it, because the offense had plenty of things not go their way. Right? And I was one of many that felt like you left points on the scoreboard, but a lot of that, yes, Behren had 2 interceptions. One of those, I think if you do that 10 times, Aiken wins that battle 6, maybe 7 times. And it's like he was surprised that he kind of got out-toughed on that play. But a bigger thing was you were moving the ball with him. For me, like Behren individually, I thought he was, especially after he had taken a big shot and went out, was just giving, trying to run through contact a lot. And I know he's a competitor and all that, but like those are the things I was like, okay, Behren, don't do that. But then the other thing is like when you're killing yourself over and over and over again with the laundry that was on the field in the first half, also not even trying to establish the run game. And part of that is because you kept on setting yourself up for long situations.
Yes.
I understand when you go from that, and in the second half, Will Hammond comes in and plays excellent, looks fantastic.
Sure.
I understand where that's going to come from, but I thought McGuire was very, I don't know, there was a lot of purpose with the words he chose after the game.
Yeah, I think. I think he's right. You're gonna need both of them, and probably need all 3 of them. Hopefully, don't need all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we'll see Hammond run some red zone and different things at times where there's a look that they're trying to achieve, and I think are we headed for a new starting quarterback? But yeah, Texter like, oh, go crazy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Joey does this, to my team, like okay,
mm-hmm.
everybody's smart coaches. I get it.
I if for some reason, and I'm not expecting this to be the case, but if for some reason, if you had, where Morton was just struggling
mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, I don't think it's out of the question. Because, I don't think they care. They just want to win over there. And I think Mac Leftwich is probably the same way, that if it came down to it, they would pull that trigger if it meant winning games. But I don't think we know that yet or not. Right? I think that is.
I think they're going to do it. I don't get some idea that they're blindly loyal to someone and, more so than even trying. I think, like they would sacrifice winning a game to prove some point. Dude, these aren't EA Sports avatars out there running around. There's people involved
mm-hmm.
here, right? Benching quarterbacks and all that stuff, you're playing Riker, and you guys are playing your little college game there, firing the kicker. Who was in here talking about the other day, cutting their kicker when they missed a kick? Those guys have to know. You realize these are like little computer players, right?
No, I send the real athlete a letter after this. Look, you've been cut from my video game.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to need you to come into my office when you have just a second. My video game office.
Or you pull a Tommy Tuberville and cut him while the guy's going home from practice and he's listening to the radio and he hears that he's been cut. True story, by the way.
Shelly said, "Soft line, Clint. That's what I call you." I know. I need to work on my lines. There's a reason I'm not in Vegas. I feel like I never want to overdo it and make it impossible.
Okay.
But I'm going to be a lot more strict with my lines from here.
You really are a degenerate gambler. I like that about you.
Somebody said poor Utes with the laughing emoji. I got on the chat line at halftime for entertainment purposes. You would have thought we were down 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, you guys were texting about that.
Yeah.
So, I'll let y'all handle that.
Good hot afternoon, gents. Just think if we didn't have all those pre-snap penalties, what we could have scored,
Right.
wreck them.
That's exactly right. And
Isn't that crazy?
Like that, I would say it cleaned up at halftime, but the very first series out, the second half, we had 2 more, plus Aiken had the hands of the mask deal, and then I think there was one or two more maybe after Hammond came in, but I think that calmed down, and whether we had made an adjustment or whether it probably got a little quieter in that barn too, right?
Well, when it started cleaning up is whenever you were, what'd you do? You
Started
went on
clicking.
You went on 4 straight scoring drives in the game, and it's crazy that you have the chance to score whenever your offense gives yourself the chance to do
that
so.
right. Yeah, we got out of our own way, which is what Joey said going into half.
Yeah.
It's not about them, it's about us.
More Tech Talk next.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
It is Tech Talk on Double T 97.3. We'll get back to some more thoughts and comments on the game and some other questions we have on the chat line. Clint, Gus, and Brennan. Before we do that, Brennan has our play of the day.
And it's going to be a quarterback draw. Hammond starts from the left side. He's got room. 35-40, 45, sideline, midfield. Sutter steps and gets inside a little bit down to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10 Red Raiders. Wow. There's your big play to open the series. Hammond play action. Pressure coming, rolling to his right, throws it. It's caught by Aiken. He's at the 30, breaks a tackle, then spins down in another one inside the 25 to the 24. Motion out of the backfield is Williams. Hammond looked that way, pumps. Now he's going to throw to the left side. Wide open is Terrence Carter. Touchdown, Red Raiders. Oh, the double move on the pump was perfect.
I think that was my favorite drive of the game against Utah is your defense, who had been lights out throughout the entire game, gave up the touchdown drive to Utah, and immediately you respond offensively with a relatively quick drive to go up by 10 points. And then from that point, defense locks back in, and it's your game from the rest of the way. And the tone setter on that drive right there was Hammond breaking away on a run and making some guys miss. And I don't know, that was a really big drive for your offense to go out there and start putting the nails in the coffin.
You know what's interesting is the atmosphere was talked back and forth a lot, right, coming into it. And it was great. And again, I think that's a good thing for the Big 12.
Absolutely.
It was even better to watch that atmosphere dissipate and just leave with several minutes on the clock left. But you go kind of into the ups and downs of like the crowd's momentum. They started out, it popped once again right at the beginning of the second half, right? They picked the energy right back up, even though defensively you had just sucked the life out of that offense and had just really, any time that they could feel joy with their offense, it was ripped away by your defense.
Beautiful.
And then they pop again to start because you have the ball back, or you're starting the second half with the ball. You get a couple more of those pre-snap penalties we've already talked about. And then you just continue to just give them zero joy. And once they finally scored that, I mean, it was, because that's a 3-point ball game. I was wondering, okay, well, what is your offense's response now? And if you go back, right, the drive before should have had a touchdown. A little bit of miscommunication on a wide open route, which, by the way, Mac Leftwich called an outstanding game. There were opportunities to be had there offensively. To me, in my opinion, called an outstanding game against a really good Utah defense. One of those was right there, a missed opportunity, right, where, maybe wrong shoulder. I don't know if Carter's turning the wrong way. Whatever it is, you miss a touchdown and you leave 3. And at the time, I was like, man, that feels like that's something really big, even though your defense has been so good that you didn't get 7 there and you got 3.
Yeah, and that 3 was followed up by their only touchdown.
Right, and so the crowd is back into it, right. and so okay, well, what's the response here? And I'm with you. That was my favorite drive of the day too. It was that one, and then just your opening drive was probably right underneath that one.
Yeah, that touchdown where he missed Carter was just a missed throw, and then you put with it the like Aikens guy, because it was a little pick route thing, and Aikens guy fell down. I mean, like Aikens guy is kind of right in front of his face. I'm sorry, Aiken is right in front of his face here. By then, he had already picked up Carter, going, "Ooh, I got what I wanted."
Yeah,
you know, Carter's guy got, you know, picked out of didn't come out of the congestion, and then he just, you know, overcooked it and threw it past Carter. Carter was kind of lunging, stumbling, whatever, and so you get 3 out of that, which at that time the game was just, there were no points going in that game, and you're thinking, man, this is going to be all I could think about during the game was that this was that Ames game I was telling you about.
Yeah, 100%.
And thinking, man, this thing's going to end up being that 16-13 thing, and then they go down to score and like, all right, we're about to be in a scrap here, and then just, you know, and then just took it over from there. But yeah, I was really worried about that at the time because there were so few wide open receivers.
Right. And
they would probably say the same thing with the throw they missed later on.
And I love that on that drive when you have that, you know, not that by any means were they hanging their heads or anything, but when you have that kind of missed connection, I love that drive. How does it end? Hammond finding Terrence Carter just wide open. And yeah, that felt like a nails in the coffin touchdown. Turns out you would have 2 more. You know, maybe a silent offensive MVP, because don't get me wrong, Will Hammond comes in and did from the conference and should, you know, get all of the weekly nods. And I think we all thought this before, but the future is so bright with him.
Sure.
It's just a redshirt freshman. But an underrated offensive MVP, I thought, was Caleb Douglas. I thought by far made some of the biggest plays for you. Incredibly tough catches. I think just had one where, you know, it I don't know. You heard?
Yeah, he dropped one.
Yeah, and even then, I think that was a tough catch, and he makes up for it.
The next play,
yeah,
the same play, the next play, right back to it, bang.
Yeah,
25-yard gain.
I thought, you know, it's hard to tell with some of the, you know, the weaker competition and just how open everything has been for the offense. It's been hard to tell anything about him. But when you needed a big physical receiver to be a big physical receiver, especially in the second half, he made some outstanding grabs for you.
Well, we're watching this game, and we're right here at the end of the first half, and Morton hit him down there to the 10-yard line or whatever, but that was Sampson's holding. You know, the penalties were breathtaking in the first half, and it's speaks exactly to what Coach Morton was talking about when he was running off the field. Like, we're beating ourselves, man.
This on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Stone Harrington needs to take that Joel Klatt shirt. This on the chat. How about just the kicker situation? That situation makes it sound like a bad thing, but you come into the year thinking it's going to be Upton Belenfont's job just because he's got a little more. I don't know. He's proved it on this level, and we don't know quite as much as about his Stone Harrington, and then when we come into the season, it sounds like it's he's mentioning his name in the fall, and to come in and make, I mean, that was at the time, not just at the time, it was, because it still is now, that was a massive field goal.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I don't know
if
your defense was just so dominant, I think it makes it a little bit easier if you even have a guess that he can go that long to trust your defense in that situation. So you have to have the defense first, and then you have to have the kicker that you think that he can even kick that distance. And for
Coach McGuire talked about in the post game that he said, that's Kenny Perry. He said they felt like going that one end that he was good from, I don't remember what the number, it was big, it was 60 or something. And then the other end, they felt like it was more of a 45, and I didn't realize they were playing that much wind, but for whatever reason, they felt good about going that direction and sent him out there, and he nailed it.
Man,
pay attention
Pure.
to pre-games. Yeah. Sure.
It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3.
The podcast put together with Red Raider fans in mind. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Happy Monday. It's Tech Talk on Double T 97.3, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com, and the Double T 97.3 mobile app, brought to you by Happy State Bank. Clint, Gus, and Brennan. Ask Tech Talk will be in 45 minutes from now. Give us your questions for that on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. After we're done tonight, it's the Cowboys Hour, 6 o'clock here on Double T 97.3. In 15 minutes, we'll give you round 2 of the juice. I wanted to get to this question from Scott, who said that he had asked this to the earlier show as well, but do we think that Mike Gundy will survive the season?
I do not. Oh. I mean, like, in other words, will he be canned before the season ends?
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would say...
Does he make it through the season?
Sure.
Sorry, let me word it correctly.
Yeah, because there could be an announcement of his going out after Game 10, but they let him coach the last 2 games, that kind of a thing, which frees him up to go look for a new skipper. I don't know, man. That's a good question. There's just nothing about that operation that makes me think that there's a bright future ahead, right?
Well, to me,
I'm here for that.
You're not going to get any lower than
I
what.
hope the answer is yes. I think he's got another 2 or 3 years left at him. 4-8, 3-9, and then 2-10.
Mike Gundy is a really good football coach. He is not a good football coach in this era. That's how I and he's told you this, because he's told you he doesn't like NIL. He doesn't want to use NIL. This year it was like, oh, this is the first year we've paid any players. Like anything, that's how I view it. I don't think he will tarnish his, or has like tarnished his, because he's always been abrasive. Like he's always been at ends at times with donors and fans, depending on the time of year, and sometimes. But he's always been Oklahoma State, and I don't think that will change. And I don't think he's tarnished his legacy or anything like that. I think he's a guy that sticks to his guns, doesn't want to change, isn't going to, and I'm going to be honest as far as the will he make it through the season? I was surprised that he was still the Oklahoma State football coach today, because I don't think you'll get any lower than what just happened against Tulsa as far as ultimate, not even little brother, but just shouldn't be in your realm, ending that horrific streak on top of everything that has gone wrong over the past season and a half. And so in my mind, this is why I was surprised. If they're going to pull that trigger mid-season, what are you waiting for your own ammunition? Because if you're going to wait for it to go down from $15 million in the buyout to $10 million in the buyout, well, then you're waiting the whole season anyways. So I don't understand what the win would be, Gus, if it was we're waiting to see if you go 1-4,
Sure.
or 1-6. I don't know what the lower they're waiting for, or what they're looking at going, yeah, we can turn this around with the regime now. So I don't know. I'm still of the opinion I think that he'll be fired before the season is up. But I'll be honest, the way that there were pitchforks and flames, and by the way, that was a pretty good crowd that still showed up there in Stillwater that watched that unfold. I'm surprised it wasn't, with the building anger over there and that being it doesn't get any worse than this,
right?
So who knows? My guess is still it's still he doesn't last the entire season.
Yeah, I'm with you there. The key challenge they have are a couple of key challenges that are worth noting. Brand new president, athletic director who had serious health problems this summer. I mean, not that either of those things paint a picture of someone who's incapable of making a decision, but it just, it's just rough. President who nobody's heard of running off or signing off on, of course, that goes all the way up the chain.
Yeah, sure.
I get it. That goes all the way up to chancellors and regents and all that stuff. But still, that's just what I wanted to do in my first 6 months is run off former quarterback and 20-year very successful head coach.
Yeah.
But
I think at this point everybody would understand,
absolutely.
right? Like when the fan base is begging for it, like,
Absolutely.
please.
Well, fan bases can be a little reactionary too. But
Sure,
yes.
but I understand the reaction
I
on
know.
this one.
I do too. Well, especially when, his candor. I mean, people like it. People like that clip I played 2 hours ago, right? Hour and a half ago. But
I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah, I mean that was what? What was that clip in reference to? We giggle about it, but
drinking and driving.
Yes. Like I'll have 6 beers and take off drive. Dude, like his candor's fun, and but his candor's also probably gotten himself in trouble more often than not over the last 5 years or so. Like, dude, that's one of those things that you'd have been better off just not saying that one. And but yeah, you should kind of live by the sword, die by the sword, I think. But he's put himself in some bad spots. It's just like his deal you said the other day or today. Is this room hot in here? Are you making light of the fact that are you really genuinely commenting on the temperature in here? Or are you making light of the fact that you're on every hot seat in the world?
I still think he was actually commenting on the actual temperature in the room, but still, I'm with you. You know what's funny? Or something.
I think he's just being a wiseacre. How's that?
Yeah.
How's that? I
Okay.
almost said the other thing. Just being a wiseacre.
What I think is an interesting side conversation, who's a fan base that seems to be watching this really close, is Kansas State.
Because they feel like they're a little bit behind.
Because there's already being drawn links to a former quarterback who's now a Texas A&M offensive coordinator, and everybody over in Manhattan wants him to be the next Kansas State coach, and who's not happy with their regime right now, and they're looking going, okay, if we don't do this now, we might miss our chance with Colin Klein, and I just think, I wonder how high that pressure goes up the same tree over there.
You start paying a lot of money for that. Man, the guy who's never been a head coach, former player, that always works, right?
He has been outstanding as an offensive coordinator, though. More next.
It's every Red Raiders' favorite podcast. This is the Tech Talk Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Ask Tech Talk in 15 minutes from now. Give us your questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. You got us on Double T 97.3. Had a fun one today. Would you expect anything else, though, from the outcome in Salt Lake City? It's going to be fun to break this one down even tomorrow. And then, Gus, I think sometimes the age-old discussion, did the bye week come at the right time? I think getting some guys, because that was a physical game. Like, all jokes for Utah aside, the physical nature, obviously very much still there. And so to me, I think it's probably good that you can kind of get right for a couple of guys. Behren Morton being one of those. It's not. I don't think it came at a bad time. If you like the back and forth discussion of did it come at a good or a bad time.
Hey, this is a day for football talk, but Auburn basketball coach retirement here today at 11 in the morning. Holy Moses. That's a big one there.
And did you see, son Steven, is the next up. I thought it was interim, and maybe originally everybody thought it was interim, and then 5-year contract. By the way, that 30-day portal is still open.
You know what I thought about? Ooh, that's right. You know what I thought about is it felt sort of Bob Knight to Pat Knight. And we'll see. It may be just fine, but I just thought, man, that's just it's sort of the way gets paved for that to happen.
And a lot of people, I I guess he had mentioned like running for Senate or something, or I don't know. There were some people that thought maybe he was going into politics. And, he put out a 15-ish minute video talking about it. And I think he mentioned that too and was like, I'm going to be an ambassador here at Auburn. Like, I'm staying here. So it's just the whole thing is so interesting for a guy that helped lead Auburn to an immense amount of success.
Like never before this good. John Rothstein tweeting, like really just right before we got on the show, the dates of the two Tech games with Houston. At Houston on January 6th, here on January 24th, which is a Saturday, here, the Saturday game.
I think, do we get the full schedule tomorrow?
It makes me think that's
right.
About to drop, right?
So we'll have
I can't
but two January games.
Yep.
Against Houston. I'm
ready. I mean, I'm ready for that schedule and just get that into my head too. Not that I'm looking past anything, but just it's because
I did my 2-minute basketball opinion last week, so no one yelled at me that I was
I know.
looking past the season. I'm with you, man. I'm so excited for this basketball season.
Coach McGuire and Shieldwood and all those guys are sitting around reading John Rothstein tweets just like we are. So I tell you what, these are the weeks in the football program, and he talked about this, like, what will you do this week in football, and the young guys go get after it this week, and then the older dudes do a lot of conditioning heavy and that sort of thing, but this was the week for, I mean, back in my day when I was a weight room guy, this was a red shirt week, like the red shirts would be, and again, some of that stuff is defined a little bit differently now than then because they could play in 4 games now, where back then they were red shirts. You came in and you're like, Clint Scott, offensive lineman, red-shirted freshman. You're in the weight room 4 days a week, not like the other players are in season.
Always.
Yeah, and
bulking up.
Sure. That's exactly it. I didn't say about the dining hall. I said that about
well, that's part of it. You got to put on the weight to transform the weight, baby.
The work's got to go in. But
don't nod to that. That was such a bad joke.
This was the week This was the week that they hit and got after it. A lot of contact. They're not over there running the scout team like the show is about you.
Yeah.
The 3s and 4s and 5s. You guys are and Thursday, you guys are the scrimmage. You know, and again, I'm saying this. I'm not saying that's how Joey's doing it, but I'm sure it's a big week for the young guys this open week here. But he did say we're going to run their tails off so we can be in good condition, like the veterans. I think he made a reference to the conditioning. We're going to run their tails off.
Yeah.
And then his very last comment, the last words he spoke in the press conference were like, I'm going to find something to yell about. I'm sure I'm going to find something to yell about.
That's something else.
I loved it, man.
That's something else when you're looking at the things that you won and lost against Utah, as far as like, you lost penalties. You won the game. You won pretty much every yardage conversion rate that you could. Something else that you won was just outlasting in a physical battle, because that defense for Utah was gassed at the end. And I think that's part of it's not like the main reason, but I think that's part of why when you start gashing them, you can just feel it loosening up and loosening up and loosening up, and then your 3 scores to end it. By the way, also happened to clean up penalties on those touchdown drives that you scored 3 straight to end. Funny how that works.
There were none. The last penalty was Wisniewski's. Am I saying that right?
Wisniewski.
Ness? Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Need to pronounce it properly.
Oh, I do want. He deserves that. He deserves that proper. Wisniewski. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Neski. What'd you call him? Ness. Like Tyler Nesloni.
Try Cole.
Tyler Ness, number 5. How about that? Oh, no, wait.
Nope, Caleb Douglas is like,
we got 2 of those.
Defensive number 5.
Yes. That was that PI, which was just a hustle play. It's just a play, right?
Sure.
That's not the kind that
was one of the least egregious penalties you had.
But he was probably there a little early, whatever. That's the last penalty of the day, Clint. And when does the tail kicking commence?
From then
right
on.
There. Yeah, right there.
And I just think, as far as
Hammond's
though,
not
the joke about we're gonna run them, we're gonna make sure we're in good shape and all that stuff, man, I think that's something is as dominant as your defense was. the most impressive thing to me, Gus, is for 4 straight quarters, it did not let up. And this is the first fourth quarter your starters have played in defensively, and it did not let up. There was no daylight. It was a horrible day to be Devin Dampier. It was a horrible day to be that offensive line. And I still think that I don't walk away going, boy, that offensive line was horrible. That's not who we, they're not who we thought they were.
I bet
just won. You won a terrific.
I bet you West Virginia gets a focused, concerted effort.
Yes.
Like, oh, great.
And I bet Rich Rod is not looking, at tape and stuff going, hey, we don't really have to worry about either of those fronts for Utah. They're not that good.
What do you think about Arizona State and Salt Lake City in about 3 weeks? Doesn't that seem like a really interesting game?
Yes, it does.
That's who they play right before they play the Red Raiders, by the way, the Sun Devils.
Maybe they'll get beat up before you see them in Tempe.
Yes, sir.
This has been the Tech Talk Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.